Newsflash! Waylay is dead, and Sentinels killed her. Let me explain. We're talking about G2 versus Sentinels. On their attack side, it's 2-1 to G2. All is looking good. They're not going to win another attacking round, and we're going to see how partly Sentinels counter Waylay, but also we saw some of the problems that Waylay has show up in this game. So let's start with round number 4, and this one looks like a bit of a set play here from G2, as you can see pretty much from the off, because they take early A main, right? Early KO flash with the KO knife, they TP Valorant across, they take early A main control. Now, this looks like, you know, a kind of round that they had pre-planned, because they're going to drone up here towards mid, and they're going to trigger this Vice Wall in just a second with the Waylay, right? So we're going to see the first part of Waylay, that you can safely trigger this wall, because Jogamo is going to trigger it, and then just quickly refract back, right? So there you go, we've triggered the wall. Now they're going to come and actually, you know, quickly kind of come into this A split. Now, I do think here for G2, the problem that they've got here, right, is that they've triggered the wall, but they're going to do this so fast that it does make me think, would they be better off just like waiting 5 seconds, right? Like slowly walking up to here, pausing for a couple seconds, wait for this wall to go down, make this guy really think that this could be real, and then go for this play, right? Because by doing it at this pace, obviously the wall is still up, so they can't actually be going B yet, right? So when you first hear any noise here, you're going to assume this is actually an A hit, because this wall is actually still up. So maybe they could wait a bit more, but we're about to see one of, I think, the main problems of playing Waylay, specifically with KO.
Adventure to mid, so they can start messing with that wall for Zelsis as much as they want.
Yeah, refract, get the wall out.
Yeah.
Now you have a minute left, so you can work this site for the side of G2.
So you might have quickly caught what was going on there, but what G2 are going to try and do is they're going to try and push Jogamo all the way up here and kind of do this like triple A split. Right, which is, you know, an idea you see sometimes from these teams, but we see one of the problems with Waylay, specifically with KO, is that when Jogamo comes in here and they go, you know, to try and start this little split, what you're going to see is Jogamo is going to, this is the flash, right? So here's the KO flash that we can now handily see on the map, and then Jogamo is going to dash in behind it, but of course, when you are Waylay dashing here, you have to dash the way you are facing. So you cannot turn your teammate's flash. And that is what happens to him. Now, Zelsis actually throws his own flash, but you'll see that it hasn't popped yet by the time that Jogamo is actually kind of, you know, coming in here. So it must be his own flash that blinds him. And it gives a free kill here to Zelsis, who's just behind the player UI here. Obviously, not ideal, right? And this is one of, I think, you know, the first problems is that even for a team like G2, who are obviously one of the best in terms of, you know, their timings and planning these things and all of that kind of stuff, even for them, they can still get it quite wrong with Waylay. Okay, let's take a look at the very next round, where again, Jogamo is going to go in and he's going to die first.
You have the Armageddon that can open it up. Valorant can TP inside. And all they gotta wait here is exactly that, to activate the hit for G2 inside the site.
Not much movement though. It's going to be on Jogamo, and he goes right into the smoke. They've realized the past few times that Jogamo was playing this, he is going in.
So we see that instantly they get shut down again. Now this one is a little bit interesting, right? Because I think this is partly good play and good awareness by John here. Sorry, I said Zelsis earlier, thinking that Zelsis was playing KO, but it's John playing KO. John on KO does a really good job here, but what's crucial about this as well is this drone that you see. The timing on this drone from Narrate coming out here into short, because what he does is obviously he drones short as this exec is about to come in, and he sees that, you know, no one is kind of there early for the threat, so he's going to get into the smoke and eventually get this kill. Now he does get hit by Jogamo's saturate, right? So Jogamo's throwing a saturate there to try and, you know, dissuade anyone from going into that smoke. The problem that he's got, of course, is that, you know, with the drone short, they're kind of aware of it, right? And this is something that G2 have maybe done before, so they're aware of that as well. And we're also ready for this Omen TP back here, right? John does a good job of recognizing this Omen TP just here, the Omen ult, and kind of spamming it through the box and canceling it, right? So Valen gets cancelled. What also happens is we're going to get an Omen flash. So if I just come back, you'll see that Jogamo, the timing is a bit off, because I think that Jogamo gets hit by that Omen flash, right? So he just waits. So you'd assume that, like, the timing of this, you know, there's the flash, Jogamo should be going in, Jogamo should be going in, now he goes in, but now it's too late, right? So he got caught by the Omen flash here from Bang. That delays him ever so slightly. Then the timing is kind of off with, you know, some of the other util, And then also another thing that's happened as well. Valen, of course, has ulted, so he hasn't had time to throw his paranoia. And you'll see him here, like, he's ready to throw a paranoia, like, on where generally he knows that these players are likely to be. But he doesn't, I think, because he's kind of scared of just smacking Jorgmo with it. Obviously, if he flashes here at the wrong time, he's just going to smack Jorgmo and he's going to die, right? But because of that little bit of delay, it gives Narrate, you can see he, on his screen here, Narrate is hindered. But he's at the end of the hinder, so it's not really affecting him. So really, that Omen flash and that tiny bit of delay, just upsetting the timing ever so slightly, you know, really caused some mega problems, you know, for G2. And again, Jorgmo, like, if you get hit by any utility to Waylay, you can't do it. Like, you know, you can't really go in, because even though you can refract out, like, if he gets hit by an Omen flash from either team, you know, he's not going to know how much danger he's maybe fully in, and so, you know, wouldn't necessarily refract, and so he does go in there and dies pretty instantly. It's good job by Sen, kind of, you know, fighting forward and kind of, you know, being there ready to receive Jorgmo as that kill. Okay, now let's turn to round number 6, and in this one, we're going to get G2 pushing up towards the top of mid.
You need to leverage now his refract for the actual information gathering into the B site.
Be right back.
Oh. And he's ready. He's ready. They tried to get Nere last time. He comes out on top, and it's not going to be a problem the second time. Jogamo, after 2, is finally able to sit Nere down, but there's back.
Okay, so this is an interesting play. It's a risky play already. I mean, it's only 3-2. Normally you see teams do this, you know, when it's 8-2 or something, but they're going to go for this play. Now, when I was watching this with Sideshow, it was like, wow, Narrate, what an amazing job. And then, as people in my kind of chat pointed out, this would be better if we didn't use Waylay util. Like, like, imagine we just swing here, right? Imagine Jogamo just swings with Valen. They'd be better off, right? Like, this actually does create, the way Jogamo plays this, creates 2 1v1s for Narrate, right? 1v1, because Jogamo is, you know, can't shoot whilst he's in the little animation there. TP's back. 1v1. Right, and it's good by Narrate. It's good, you know, good aim, you know, good reaction, good understanding of what position you're in, right? Like, it's all good by Narrate. But there's a couple things of this, again, that, you know, G2 get wrong, right? One, you would think the better way to do this is for Jogamo to do up here, down there, then Valen swing, right? Not come here and here, right? Surely it makes more sense to go up, be the first thing on his screen, make him look up here, then Valen swings. Now he's, you know, having to flick, you know, go, whoa, right? Back down here. That would create some problems. So again, the Waylay usage here by G2, probably, you know, not the best, right? Again, I mean, and the thing is as well, you could even use Jogamo just as a pure scouting tool, right? You could just send Jogamo here, see if he's there, and then, like, you've got, like, Omen Flash, right? And you just Omen Flash him or something. Right, whereas instead they're going for, like, it's a bit strange. They're treating it like it's kind of setting up for a jet, right? With, like, Jonapi's flash here, it's like you're setting up for a jet to go and get this kill. But, like, when this flash comes in, like, you know, Valen's swinging off it, but Jogmo's never, our duelist can never get this kill with that flash, right? It's only Valen who can. Whereas in reality, with what Jogmo does, you might be better off, like, as I say, doing this, scouting where if someone is actually there, flashing them after, and then just swinging them and killing them, right? Whereas what they do here, you know, it just doesn't work, as you can see. And I think, again, you see some of the problems of maybe I mean, they even try with the salvos to, you know, trap the players in, you know, keep someone in this box kind of thing. And as you see, it just doesn't work again for G2. But now let's take a look at the start of round 9, where Sen decide to get aggressive with a little task crunch here, and it works out.
2 potential fight into B main.
Straightforward. Zekin trying to be the spearhead once again. Bang starts off onto Jogamo.
So this is good by Sen, right? And I think in theory, again, being aggressive against Waylay is pretty good, because in these situations where a Waylay is taken by surprise for an aggro play, it's tough for Waylay to kind of, you know, actually get out of that situation, right? Because unless you've kind of preemptively, for whatever reason, know that it's coming, and, you know, you're sending your refract out somewhere safe, you know, most likely this Waylay, because again, when you dash, you have to get your hands out. right? So you have to get your hands and then turn away and then dash away, right? Which takes, you know, maybe longer than it is to, you know, I don't know, throw a race satchel, you know, and just bounce away or whatever, right? Or your TP, which you might already have set up somewhere. So you see them get caught by this. I do like this by Sent. This is really good by Sent because there's all 5 players of G2 here, right? You would normally think, like, you don't really want to tiles crunch into 5. You know, that's not normally a great position to be in here. And you see that Bang manages to get the first kill on Jogmo just there, because Jogmo's kind of the only one who sort of sticks around here. He doesn't actually get hit by any util. He just kind of loses this fight. Whilst the rest of his team, you know, obviously are running away and aren't there able to trade. But what I will like about this from Sen is, you know, they get that kill and they don't stick around, right? They just say, well, we'll just play a 5v4. There's no point in kind of doing anything else. You know, we're happy with where we're at. We're in a 5v4. We've killed that duelist, right? We can now just play choke points and we're in a good spot. And that's what they do. And it's good by Sen, again, you know, just kind of recognizing what position they're in and how to play against it. But I do think here, I do also want to bring up one thing, which is Valen is trolling this round. So you can see he's bought a rifle here. He has 3,450. You know, he's bought a rifle, light shields, whatever. He has no Omen Flash. I mean, again, if I was coaching a team, there are just certain bits of util. We've already seen how powerful an Omen Flash can be. You're going to see, I mean, you already all know how good an Omen Flash is, right? You're going to see it in another round as well in just a second. Every single, you must buy an Omen Flash. It is just too good of an ability to never buy. And I was like, you know, and this is partly successful because he doesn't buy an Omen Flash, right? Because if they do come with a Tiles Crunch, well, an Omen Flash is how you get out of it, right? You can just completely shut down one side of the crunch with one ability, right? And yeah, it works for this round, but just in general, the Omen Flash is so good, it is literally must buy. Are you telling me, Valen, that you couldn't buy even a Stinger? Yo, Valen, buy a Stinger, bro, and just buy a Flash and pick up someone else's gun. You don't need to take the first fight anyway. You're playing Omen, right? Like, just pick up someone else's gun. Don't buy a rifle with no Omen Flash. Please. And you see it's another good start from Sen. And Jogmo dies first again. Then let's skip ahead to the very next round, where it looks like G2 had the same plan as they did the round prior, which is just let's go B with the Visal.
The Outlaw, but G2 wants to rush into the B site.
Dashed in. Jogmo looking for that first one, has to refract, does get the info, but it's not able to be played off of. Sentinels are reacting perfectly, and it's Leaf. They have to run through with the Stingers. It seems like the only thing they can do is press W to get this to work, because Sentinels has the read left and right on these plays. Sean Cutie just stepping to the side. Zekin picks up another kill here.
And he can't run forward to get the kill because Bang just threw a perfect paranoia, so they can't punish John Cutie, who got caught.
The peaks left and right, they're just playing with their food here. The pop flash comes out, a great duck.
Okay, so here again, we see another entry by Waylay, which, in theory, right? Like, if you're making the video for Waylay entering in onto the site, this is what you would do, right? Like, the dash in, you know, see where you are, refract out, right? But again, this is where you get the problem of playing like a Waylay without some other dive. Is that, okay, you know that Zelsis is here now, and okay, you've refracted all the way back to B main is where Jogmo's going to go. He's still able to get a kill. Right, this is after you've used Vice and KO ult as well. Right, and, you know, Jonah's dead, Valen's dead, and okay, they are eventually able to scale up and you know, kill him. But that was just a straight, you know, run and gun from Leaf. Right, like it wasn't that great, and then Jogmo was able to get a kill as well. But you see, like, some of the problems of like, if you don't have that like second player who's close by, you're in trouble. Then you're about to see the power of an Omen Flash. We're about to trade a good ult. The Waylay ult is a good ult, but we're about to trade it for an Omen Flash. Right, perfect from Bang here, really great Omen Flash, and Jogmo can't go with his ult. Now he just has to run away. And we're going to lose a round here for G2 where they used KO Waylay Visalt. And you lose the round. And I know they only had, you know, some Stingers or whatever, but it's G2 with Stingers. I mean, they win enough rounds with that gun anyway, right? And they used 3 massive ults and still, you know, weren't really able to make it work. And I think you see here that, you know, they weren't finding the value, you know, that they otherwise might be expecting to get. Finally, let me show you round number 12, which is kind of the first time, you know, since the guns came out, the G2 were able to kind of actually get a semi-successful exec onto a site.
Oddly enough, okay, so now they're utilizing Trent. So far, it's always been Joggimo breaking open that wall. So they need Joggimo for the execution window to sight. And Trent can stay in range to use his salvos to help the hit.
Joggimo start off this first blood. It's going to be Valen that actually gets banged.
So what is the difference in this round? Well, it's that the Valen is there with Joggimo. I mean, I would still say that this isn't like theoretically perfect for what you want to do. But, you know, we've seen in other rounds, you know, Valen can't be here because he's, you know, ulting somewhere else, or Joggimo's going too deep for where an Omen can go, or, you know, whatever else it might be. But this time, you know, it's just salvo, right? They aren't where the salvos are. Omen flash one side, TP in, Joggimo goes in as well, and now we're just all here, right? The gang's all here, and now you've got two players. Now again, in like theoretical land, you know, ideally, like, Joggimo swings this first, see what's there, refract back if needed. Then Valen is right here to, you know, kill someone who's, you know, looking at someone who's already, you know, like, speeding away or whatever, right? Like, that's your ideal, that's your perfect scenario. But at least, like, you've got, you know, we've got two players here swinging with a flash. Right, like, that's good. We like that. We like that. We like the timing of this flash from Jonah P, right? Like, not doing it straight away, going for the suppress first, like, in terms of, like, the logistics of this thing, it all makes sense, right? Omen flash, TP in, KO knife, detected, flash, and now we swing. Like, good stuff, right? But this is, like, the only time that this kind of thing happened. But really, this should probably be, like, you should be seeing on a lot of these execs, like, these two are probably right next to each other, right? Because if you're not playing double duelist, it has to be the Omen who's, you know, going in there with the Waylay. Now, maybe that becomes predictable and stuff as well. You know, maybe you can get some free kills on this Omen, right? Like, there's positions here, maybe that Valen could be in trouble if someone was in that specific spot, right? Like, you know, maybe if a guy's up here on this box and doesn't quite get caught by the Omen flash or whatever, right? Like, there are positions where, you know, Valen's just TPing into the open and dies and looks stupid, but, you know, also this can happen, right? But again, I think you see, and hopefully you have seen in this video, that, you know, there is even for teams like G2, there are a lot of things that can go wrong with Waylay. Like, even if you are slightly off, there is a lot that goes wrong. And this is a round that G2, you know, probably should win. We're about to watch, you know, a kind of bad moment here for Trent, a rare bad moment for Trent. But Sentinels managed to win this round. And obviously, I understand I'm not showing you the second half of this game where, you know, G2 kind of dominate. But I think that this attack side, you know, did highlight quite a few of the weaknesses of playing Waylay.
And that could be the play as Trent makes this call.
He needs to find the timing, though. Has to go for the backstab. He's not going to play the salvos.
He missed.
Misses!
He missed. They found him and took him out. No, but it's going to be Jonah P. Can Jonah P save the round is the question. John Cutie comes up huge, and it happens again for G2. Sentinels get through an error, and they take 10 on the first half.